We've just received the very first batch of images from the historic Artemis II flyby of the Moon, and what we're seeing so far is absolutely stunning. In this video, I'm going to walk you through nearly all of these images, talk about what's visible in them, and honestly just geek out together over how beautiful the Moon is, and how incredible this mission truly is. I've organized the images into different categories, so you can easily skip through using the chapters on the timeline. Or if you prefer, you can mute me entirely and simply enjoy the visuals for their natural beauty. Let's start with the first set of shots. These images show the Orion spacecraft approaching the Moon. They were captured as the crew prepared for their record-breaking flyby, passing about 4,000 miles above the lunar surface and setting a new record for the farthest distance humans have ever traveled from Earth. The previous record was set back in 1968 during the Apollo 8 mission. One of my favorite images in this set is the one where Earth appears tiny in the background, partially hidden behind a waxing crescent moon. It's incredible. 3 worlds captured in a single frame. Now, this next batch might actually be my favorite. These images show a total solar eclipse as seen from lunar orbit. From the astronaut's perspective, the Moon completely blocks out the Sun. This particular image is probably the standout, showing the full Moon perfectly covering the Sun. But what makes it even more special is that faint glow along the left edge of the Moon, almost giving it a crescent shape. That glow is Earthshine, sunlight reflecting off Earth and illuminating part of the Moon. From that, we can tell that Earth is positioned somewhere toward the upper left of the frame, even though it isn't directly visible. Another fascinating detail, because the Moon appears so large from the crew's perspective, the total eclipse lasted about 54 minutes, far longer than the few minutes we typically experience on Earth. Even more incredible, you can see planets lined up in the background. Saturn, Mars, and Mercury are visible toward the lower right of the Moon. Neptune would also be there between Saturn and Mars, but it's simply too dim and distant to appear in the image. There are also stars visible behind the Moon. This is possible because the Moon is dim during the eclipse, allowing for longer exposure times that capture starlight. If you look closely at the darker portion of the Moon, you might notice small bright specks. These aren't stars, they're dead pixels in the camera, likely caused by intense radiation outside Earth's protective atmosphere. As the flyby continues, we see the Sun beginning to reappear from behind the Moon, marking the end of the eclipse and bringing light back to the astronauts after nearly an hour of darkness. You can also notice the uneven edge of the Moon, revealing its rugged and dramatic topography, something we don't usually see from Earth. Another striking image shows the Moon during the eclipse lit by Earthshine. In that faint glow, some darker surface features become visible, including Mare Crisium, a region that can also be seen from Earth. There's also a bright point to the left. That's Venus. We've also received a few images that include the Orion spacecraft alongside the eclipse, and they're just as amazing. They serve as a powerful reminder that there are real humans behind these photos. So let's take a moment to highlight the astronauts themselves. We've got photos of them smiling during observations, clearly enjoying the experience. In one image, they're demonstrating safety procedures, wearing protective eclipse glasses even in space. You can see Victor Glover and Christina Koch capturing images and data. Jeremy Hansen is using a camera during the roughly 7-hour observation window. Victor Glover appears again, showing something interesting he's captured. And Commander Reed Wiseman is seen looking out the window as lunar observations begin. One image even shows a special shroud placed over a window to reduce reflections and keep the interior dark for better imaging. And yes, that's likely Jeremy Hansen behind the camera again. Now let's move in closer to the Moon itself. These next images reveal incredible detail of our lunar neighbor. The first close-up highlights the Oriental Basin, one of the youngest and best-preserved impact basins on the Moon. You can clearly see its concentric rings along with countless other craters scattered across the surface. But this image carries emotional significance too. Before the flyby, the Artemis II crew shared a heartfelt message proposing names for two previously unnamed craters. One would be named Integrity after their Orion spacecraft. The other would be named Carol in honor of Reed Wiseman's late wife. We also get more views of the Oriental Basin, along with detailed shots of craters with bright ray patterns, dark lava plains, and dramatic terrain shaped by light and shadow. In one image, the bright crater within a dark lava region is Aristarchus, while the dark circular feature nearby is Grimaldi. Another image again shows Oriental at the center, with the bright ray crater Bergius visible to the left. There's also a close-up of Vavilov crater, showing a transition from rugged highlands to smoother terrain. Because this image was taken along the terminator, the boundary between day and night, the shadows make the landscape appear especially dramatic. Similar images continue to showcase rugged terrain, countless craters, and the deep blackness of space behind the Moon. One shot zooms in on the South Pole Aitken Basin, the largest and oldest impact basin on the Moon. Let's wrap up this section with a few full moon views. You can try spotting some of the features we've already talked about. It's a fun challenge. Next, we have a beautiful series showing the Moon and Earth together. This one is called Earthset. You can see a soft blue Earth with bright white clouds setting behind the Moon's cratered surface. The dark side of Earth is in nighttime, while the sunlit side shows cloud patterns over Australia and Oceania. In the foreground, a crater with terraced edges and central peaks is visible, formed when the surface briefly liquefied during impact. These images naturally remind us of iconic photos like Apollo 8's Earthrise or similar shots from Apollo 17. We also see more images of Earth setting behind the Moon. Some show perfectly round craters in the foreground. One image was taken just 3 minutes before the spacecraft passed behind the Moon, resulting in a 40-minute communication blackout. This blackout was expected since signals can't pass through the Moon. During that time, the crew continued their observations in silence. As they emerged from the far side, they were greeted by an incredible sight, an Artemis II Earthrise. The glowing crescent Earth appears behind the Moon's dark silhouette. In later images, Earth appears even smaller, with visible cloud patterns over Australia and Oceania. In one shot, you can even spot the newly named Integrity and Carol craters again. See if you can find them. We also get a dramatic final image of a massive moon dominating the frame, with Earth sitting behind it and familiar surface features clearly visible. Another series I love shows 3 astronauts, Christina, Victor, and Jeremy, looking back at Earth through a window. Meanwhile, Commander Reed Wiseman is focused entirely on the Moon. We even get a glimpse of photos taken on the crew's iPhones and tablets. They're not as sharp as the high-resolution images, but there's something fun and human about seeing them this way. In my previous video, I showed you images taken when the crew turned back toward Earth, and they're still some of my favorites. From a full view of Earth, nicknamed Hello World, to images showing the Terminator line between night and day, and even astronaut selfies at observation windows. Since then, we've received more images of Earth, but this time it appears as a crescent. It's a perspective we rarely see. Usually we see the Moon this way, but here the roles are reversed. Artemis II is now on its way back home. On board, there's a massive collection of images and videos still waiting to be shared. Due to limited bandwidth on the Deep Space Network, not everything can be transmitted immediately. Priority is given to data monitoring the health of the astronauts and the Orion spacecraft, So what we're seeing now is just the beginning. Over the coming days, weeks, and possibly months, more incredible content will continue to be released. In fact, new images are likely being shared right now. I'll leave a link in the description so you can explore them in full resolution and check for any new releases. If you'd like to keep exploring all of this together, make sure to subscribe. I'll be bringing you the best images and videos from this mission right here on the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye.